This Detroit-Minnesota game is one of the more unpredictable games of the weekend because both teams were extremely unpredictable last season. Remember, heading into the 2012 season, everybody thought Minnesota was going to be terrible, just like they were in 2011. Conversely, the Detroit Lions were coming off a 10-win season. They had a young nucleus. A lot of people thought they were going to challenge Green Bay for supremacy in the NFC North. That, of course, did not work out. Detroit finished 4-12, 6-10 against the spread. However, nothing has happened between the end of last season and the beginning of this season. Of course, your ordinary offseason moves have happened, but neither one of these teams have drastically changed their roster or coaching staffs. Yet here we sit in week one, and Detroit is a 5-point home favorite, almost as if last season never happened. Last season, when Detroit only won 4 games and Minnesota won 10, if this were the first game of last season, if we rewound the clock a year and Minnesota was opening the season on the road in Detroit, the line would be very similar. I think Detroit would have probably been a 7 to 7.5 point favorite last year, but not too much of a difference. So what are we to believe? Was last year a total fluke? Is Detroit really the better team here? I think it's obviously more complicated than just writing off last year as a fluke. There's no question that Detroit's season could have turned differently at one point. They suffered a lot of close losses. I believe 8 losses in all came by 7 points or less. Now, the most disturbing thing, if I was a Detroit fan, would be towards the end of the season, they didn't seem to be playing quite as hard. They didn't seem to be the same team at the end of the season that they were in the beginning of the season. But there's no doubt that we've seen the players on this Detroit roster perform at a high level before, at least a lot of them. We've seen a lot of them perform at a very high level before, and this is a new season, a chance for them to put a new foot forward. I have a feeling that they're going to beat Minnesota at home on Sunday, and I would lay the 5 points. This is not one of my strongest feelings of the weekend, but I do lean towards Detroit in this game, -5.